So good morning to all. So today we are going to discuss about the pollution. Yesterday we completed, that is about the water pollution. So today we are continue that pollution topic today also. The pollution, that was the water pollution, air pollution, noise pollution and soil pollution. So in these manner mainly 4 types of pollution is there and totally in an ecosystem and in an environment. Yesterday we started, that is what is mean by pollution and what is the definition of the pollution we already discussed. So those are toxic or the harmful substances to an environment and not only for the environment. So each and every organism was affected by the harmful substances. So those substances are considered as pollutants. By the effect of the pollutants, the phenomena, so which may cause the pollution, those substances are the pollutants, the phenomena was the pollution. So the mainly that was a harmful or the so that was mainly so danger condition was created. So that was mainly considered as a pollution now. So the pollution was mainly 4 types, that is water pollution, air pollution and noise pollution and soil pollution. Yesterday we started, that is about the water pollution and completed. So the aquatic media got polluted by the different types of the harmful and the toxic substances. So that was mainly due to the effect of the pollution, that is industrial effluents. So the sewage and the sludge and the water, that is man-made activities. And due to the some other reasons, so what happens is the aquatic media got polluted. The industries are so discharged their so waste discharge they directly dumped into the water media. So by that reason, due to that reason, each and even now, so today each and every aquatic media so in our India, so that was completely become polluted. So the major rivers are now in the very dangerous condition. Why? Because they may possess the harmful level and the toxicity levels are very high in so those the toxicity is very high. The water was they become polluted, the coloration of the water also changed. So that was due to the some other reasons. So the most of the fishes are going to be die. So many of the species are going to be die by the due to the effect of the pollution. We already, so that was so we already that was the information was mainly so we know that was the main that was nothing but, so most of the organisms, most of the species, that is the fishes, so in the aquatic media, that is the water media, so a huge number of fishes are so died so due to the effect of the pollution. So that was nowadays, so till now, that is the condition of the water now, the condition of the aquatic media, so in our India. So remaining countries are so those are maybe the what happens is the sewage sludge mechanism, the sewage, that is the treatment, a specific treatment is there for the so they can able to recycle the water. The waste water also recycled there and reused there, but there is no recycle mechanism or so the comments are implemented in our India. So that's why what happens is the recycling mechanism was not implemented. So the usage, the water was directly used or consumption, that was so that was as the consuming purpose and the irrigation purpose, and the water is a completely, that was the concern, we completely depends upon the so the water for living. So not only the human beings, the remaining all the organisms, there is no water, there is no organisms. So that's why the water levels, so the irrigation purpose also, those polluted water also supplied to those irrigation purpose. So by that reason the plants, the crop become polluted, each and every vegetable become polluted now. So those and also they use the harmful pesticides. So fertilizers are not, so they not used the natural fertilizers, they used so that was become so the completely the chemical based fertilizers nowadays. So that's why what happens is the crop rate, that was the productivity rate of crop will become increased. So the number of the crop rate was increased, but what happens is that become polluted. So that may contain the toxicity substances, range was increased, the toxicity levels are increased at there. So by that reason what happens is so in these activities are so they may got completely, so all the each and every, so that was the animals, the parasites, the microorganism levels are increased. So in these so the completely, so that was the make all the water so the water sources become polluted. And the air pollution, the air pollution, that was the aerosols, the aerosols. So those are the toxic, that are the harmful, so the gases are discharged directly into the water, so into the air. So those aerosols, those are considered as so that the part of air particles. So those are mainly the aerosols, they may cause a great harm to the, that was so mainly to the ozone layer now. So that was leads to increase the global warming today. So that was the temperature and the mountain mainly to the Himalayan. So the snow, that was completely melted, the melted snow become melted now. So that by that reason what happens is the melting rate of snow become increased. So by that reason, that was what happens is the sea level was increased, that is mainly due to, so that may used to cause the water levels was the sea level become, the water levels are increased inside the sea water. So due to the melting of the Himalayan snow, so that was mainly, so that was the mountains are completely dissolved in the dissolved status in the nowadays. So due to that reason what happens is not only the Himalayan, so throughout our country, so throughout the world, so most of the, so that was the sea levels are increased due to the, so the melting of the snow levels. So by that reason what happens is that may cause a great harm, a threaten to the life, threaten to the each and every organism today. So the aerosols may cause these are the harmful gases like the sulfur, nitrates, carbon monoxide. So these all are the sulfur may, so acidity was increased inside the air due to the discharging of the sulfur. The sulfur, you know very well, the sulfur also leads to cause the acid rains. So those acid rains are very harmful to the each and every living organism. So by that effect, so these harmful gases also may cause effect to the ozone layer. The ozone layer was may protect us to the harmful ultraviolet rays. So the UV rays, that layer become protect each and every organism from the ultraviolet rays. So those ultraviolet rays are very harmful. So they may cause, they may use to increase much of radiation. So those radiation levels are increased. So due to the ozone layer become damaged today. So by the effect of the UV rays are directly entered into the, so the earth and each and every organism. So the when we expose the, so for a longer duration of time to the UV rays, then so we expose to those harmful rays, then the radiation levels are increased in each and every organism. The radiation levels are increased, then that may leads to cause the increase. What happens is that become harmful diseases like the cancerous. the radiation effect directly leads to cause the cancerous. Nowadays, up to 60 to 70% of the people are suffer from the cancer now. So, radiation is one of the reason. That is also one of the reason. So, these are aerosols may cause and sulfur, nitrates, the carbon monoxide, that is a vehicle discharges. So, the vehicle are directly discharged their gases into the air, all are entered into the air. So, they may got damage the ozone layer. Due to that reason, global warming, that is the temperature levels are increased today. And so, by these that was considered as a global warming. So, by the effect of these the lives returning to the each and every organism. So, that may affect each and every organism which are presented on the surface of the earth region are nowadays in endangered condition. Why? Because due to the effect of the air pollution. Now, not only the air pollution, all become polluted, the harmful gases are directly discharged. So, the industries are also directly discharged with their effluents into the water, and so their outlets are directly into the environment. So, those from their outlets, so they directly discharge their air, that was a harmful gas into the air. So, those all are entered, and these oxygen levels, these may become make the great impact on the oxygen and the carbon levels inside the air. So, the carbon dioxide levels are increased and the oxygen levels are decreased today. So, by that reason, the oxygen is a precursor, that is only 25%, 25 to 28% of oxygen is presented overall on the earth. So, those percentage was going to be decreased day by day. Why? Because the plantation, the plants are going to become, so that was removed from on the earth. So, by that reason what happens is, so that may leads to cause the greenery plants. The plants may absorb more amount of the carbon dioxide at the time of photosynthesis process. So, due to that reason, that is also one of the reason mainly for, so the reason was mainly helpful. So, the greenery plants are now, so then they may not be, the forest areas are no more in our, so in our so circumstances, the forest range become reduced. Why? Because all the plants in the forest area was become removed, and so it become converted to shelters for living organism, for the human, by the, that was a man-made activities. Those all are by the man. So, those all are done by the human being. So, by the effect for the shelter, for the purpose of the shelter, so those are directly remove the number of the plants today. By the effect of that, so the oxygen levels are greatly decreased. The plants, animals, all the organisms are for their surviving of the life, they so the completely depends upon the environment for the oxygen. So, those oxygen levels are inhaled, so utilized, then only the lives are survived, all the living organisms are survived in an ecosystem. So, but the oxygen levels are decreased and the harmful gas are increased in an ecosystem. So, in an environment in the air, that may also cause, so due to the inhalation process, actually the air become polluted, then what happens is that leads to cause the asthma. It was a lung disorder. It is one of the lung disorder, the chronic or acute bronchitis. So, chronic or acute bronchitis means, chronic means that was continued at also some years of time, that was a disease was continued on those persons, and the acute was suddenly occurred disease. The acute was maybe dangerous than the chronic. It may cause it was also leads to cause the death of that particular person also, but not in chronic. So, the asthma, the inhalation, the harmful gases are inhaled. So, through the inhalation process, all the nitrates, so the carbon dioxide levels all are entered into the organism's body. Then what happens is that may leads to cause the great damage to the lungs. So, mainly the asthma patients, what happens is, see the bronchioles are presented inside the air chambers. So, those air chambers become, so always these their position was become like these. So, the air passage is a root layer, but in asthma patients what happens is the phlegm. So, that was mainly those see here, the root which was the air root become, that was congested like this, that become congested. the air passage route become congested. See this. And here also the valves also become congested. The bronchioles become constricted. That becomes the walls of so that was bronchioles become constricted. Constricted means they fold become like this. They become like this. So the airways, the air passages. So always, so the bronchioles are become like this then only in healthiest person. But in lung disorders, what happens is the bronchioles become like this. So the air passages, the airways become narrow, very narrow. So due to that reason, the air passage become very difficulty to that person. So if the passage of oxygen waves that may cause a very difficulty to that person. The oxygen levels are decreased on those person. So nowadays corona is one of the problem that may cause a great harm to the lungs, the major harm to the lungs. Most of the person are suffered, so already suffered with the help of the corona. So due to that reason, almost all the 70 to 80% of in the world become suffered with the corona. So the lung disorders today. So by the effect of these inhalation process, so that may leads to cause a great impact on the lungs. Mainly the major organs, the lungs got damaged. So when the lungs got damaged, and what happens is the oxygen levels are decreased on their bodies. When the oxygen levels are decreased, then what happens? That leads to cause the heart problems. The heart is the pumping organ to the that was oxygen to all the parts of the body, and also transmit so deoxygenate that like CO2 related blood to the lungs for purification. So in these so mainly two organs are that was so mainly the correlated. So that was the coordination is presented in the middle of the each and every organ inside our body. So then what happens is the heart problems that may leads to cause the shortness of breath. So the breathing disorder, the lung disorder leads to cause the heart problems. The oxygen levels are decreased, slowly the person was going to be die. So that also leads to cause the death of that particular person. So the air pollution and the soil pollution. The soil also become polluted now. So due to the air pollution, the harmful gases which are entered into the organism's body, due to that reason the soil become also polluted due to the effect of the industrial effluents. So those industrial effluents, the aquatic media, they also got polluted to the soil media due to the high usage of fertilizers today. So those fertilizers are used in a more amount, high amount. So those are chemically based. So those chemicals become polluted to the soil at the earth region and the man-made activities. So those man-made activities are the household waste and the sewage, sludge. So that was a drainage mechanism, all got so polluted. So these drainage mechanism were also dumped directly entered and discharged into the sea water. So that was become polluted, and the water levels are greatly polluted, and the soil also become polluted now. So the usage of a more amount of the fertilizers, so those so those fertilizers may got so they make the great impact on the soil position now. So that was acidity of the soil. So the basic nature was helpful for the so that was crop productivity, that may used to increase the crop productivity, but the acidic nature was also increased inside the soil. So then the earth, that is earth, that was a soil pollution. The soil was from the organisms, so each and every. So in these the soil become polluted with the help of that was a chain system by the effect of food chain. So, the food chain become polluted, the food chain was affected due to the one organism to the another organism then. So, in these mechanism, so in these manner most of the organisms are going to be suffered today, and that was leads to cause soil become polluted. The man-made activities, household waste, all the wastages are direct dumped onto the earth region. Due to that reason, the microorganisms are developed inside the soil, and so the parasites are increased, the microorganisms are increased. So that was decomposers are also increased on the soil, the earth region. So these are mainly these so they may cause they may used to increase the pollution on the surface of the earth region now. So due to it is a soil pollution. So next the noise pollution is also there. The noise pollution 20 to 30 decibels, 20 to 30 decibels of sound that was only so may our ears so it was the ear of the human beings may tolerate only this much of decibels, but so the maximum level 85 decibels. The maximum level is 85 decibels. 20 to 30 is common, 85 is so that was a bearing stage to the ears, but more than 80 decibels may cause injury to the ears. So these are the high amount of the crowded areas, and so different types of the music, so different types of the sound systems are there nowadays. So due to that reasons, so then what happens is that leads to cause the due to the ears of the body, then that leads to cause our brain directly entered into so our brain. So the brain become affected. So the effect of the brain, the tumors are increased. The tumors are increased on the brain. So it was mainly occurred. So the green, so that was also occurred to the different types of the problems are occurred to the brain. So our brain is a main organ to the so that was administrated to the body. The brain is administrated to the each and every organism's body. Why? Because all the organs are functioned under the control of our brain, our nervous system. So if that got damaged, then the functioning was completely reduced. That become so the functioning of each and every organism become in problematic condition. So by that forgetfulness was increased, and that also leads to cause that the nerve system, the nerve damages, the brain damages, that leads to cause the death rate of the person, and not only that, all the persons are become so suffered with the different types of the diseases now. All the diseases, different types of the health problems, and so that was each and every by birth onwards. So that was a newborn baby, the infant stage to the older age. Infant to the older age, all the person are become suffered with different types of the health problems due to the pollution levels. The pollution levels are very high, very peak. So you know Hussain Sagar nowadays, Hussain Sagar is one of the so that become very polluted in the Hyderabad area, in Hyderabad main city. So that was that become very polluted, that is idle immersion at the Ganapati, so the Ganapati idle immersion or any other. So that was also leads to cause you know very well the idol preparation, that was manufacturing of the idol. They used plaster of Paris, so the plastic usages, so these plasterings. So these are plasterings, so that was mainly the plaster usage of these plasters. So these are mainly a main cause of effect of the all the media, the water media all become polluted with the effect of these pollution. So that was the plasters are also. So by the effect of these plastics, so the plastic recycling is also there, but that was not implemented in our India. So those the plastic recycling is one of the method also that was helpful to recycle the plastics, and so there is no health so any the problems to overcome the so the pollution levels are also going to be decreased, and the health problems are also going to be So, the persons suffering problems are also going to be decreased, but these plastic recycling mechanism is not going to be performed. So, in our country. So, due to these reasons, the what happens is the water media and different so all of the usage of the plastics are a part of our life. Nowadays, the plastic usage is a part of each and every organism's life today. So, usage of more and more and more and more plastics, each and everything becomes so with the help of the plastics. So, due to that reason, that may not be going to be melted, that may not be going to be dissolved inside the earth easily. So, for the dissolution that can take some more and more and more years of time. So, due to that reason, that may cause a great impact on the soil pollution, and it was also entered into the water to the water pollution. So, that was the burning mechanism of the plastics, the gases, harmful gases are released, those are also entered into the air. So, the manufacturing, the building purposes, so we use different types of the material. So, those material are also become the usage of so different types of the material for those preparation. The material preparation is also become the harmful, that may also cause the toxicity substances which are increased on the surface of the earth region. So, that may enter the burning process of these so the burning mechanism that may discharge into the harmful gases. So, the inhalation process, the organisms are due to affect that pollution. So, due to that reason, the food chain mechanism was completely affected. So, nowadays there is no healthiest person. So, there is no healthiest person. So, that was common today. So, each and every person becomes suffered with different types of the diseases. So, due to the pollution, not only the pollution, any other, so many, so most of the persons, most of the so our environment become completely polluted, each and every, so mean that was the ecosystem, the soil, so that was the air and the water are mainly polluted today. So, there is no purified, there is no pure water media. So, only that was available at the region of Himalayas, but so after the Himalayas, that was become completely polluted by the man-made activities. So, where the human beings are there, there is a pollution. Due to the, so there is no awareness to the, so each and every persons. So, a perfect awareness is not there. So, due to the illiteracy. So, due to these reasons, what happens is the pollution rate was greatly increase nowadays. So, these are the some of the reasons that may increase different types of the pollutions and the health problems also today. The kidney damages, so very shortage of people are suffered with the kidney damages, kidney problems, heart disorders, heart failures, heart attacks, and lung damages and brain damages, so brain tumors and the cancerous, different types of the health problems due to the mainly by the effect of these pollutions, not only by so the water pollution. Nowadays so the water media is completely polluted due to the effect of different types of the industries and the man-made activities also. The man-made activities also leads to cause the pollution of the water today, the water media today. So, the water levels, so the water, so the Hussain Sagar, the water become, so that was a hot smell. So, that was a bad smell, the water beard the hot smell, that was a very bad smell. So, the smell was so that was spreading the area to up to the 1 kilometers or 2 to 5 kilometers radius also. That is the effect of so those water media pollution today. And you know Musi river, the Musi river is completely, that was a garbage, completely filled with the garbage today, and the water coloration is completely black in color, green or blackish in color. So imagine, so the blackish of the water, not only that, the river Ganges, the river Godavari, so it some areas of these rivers have become, the coloration is completely changed. The water coloration becomes completely changed due to the mingled with different types of the chemicals, toxic substances, heavy metals, accumulation of heavy metals and different types of the chemicals. So, those all are discharged into the water media. This is our today's topic. It's over. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.